One side of the structure gave in, and there was absolutely nothing we could do or salvage for her. Meanwhile, the flames were warming me, a sensation I guiltily enjoyed. Pemichen, I think, was doing the same, and a little too openly rubbed her hands together, then, feeling my mother's reprimanding eyes on her, checked them into an awkward configuration of prayer. All at once, an exotic white bird, as dainty as if made of lace, flew out of the burning framework. It was a dire spectacle, its trailing tail and its wings aflame. I couldn't tell if its shrieks were accusing us of ill-doing or cursing us as a species, which, in the end, might have boiled down to the same. Frau Wedler raised her hands to her head and shrilly called out, "Anita!" After a last brief suspension in the air, the bird fell lightly to the ground, where the flames continued their course. I wanted to stamp them out, but could not do so without trampling the already suffering bird. I knew I should end its misery. I remembered what I'd learned in the Hitler Youth, but it disgusted me to do it. The rib cage moved in and out with breathy notes like a punctured accordion, until at last Frau Wedler smothered it between her breasts. Then she held the dead bird up to the sky and cried, "Those bastards killed my bird! God-cursed murderers! My beautiful little birds!" No one could get her to let go, not even my father, who also tried. A feeling of angst crept up on me as I saw that our house was increasingly shrouded in smoke. I could distinctly sense that something was wrong. Had Elsa left her hiding place? Was she wandering in the streets? Without a word, I hurried back to find that the roof and windows were untouched. Yet I felt her absence, and rushed up the stairs expecting something vague but dreadful. When I burst into the room, I was startled to find that nothing had moved. But there was a curious detail that would have given her away had I been someone else. Some long dark hairs of hers were sticking out of the bottom crack of the closed panel in a way that would have grabbed anyone's attention. With mixed emotions, I stooped and curled them around my finger. Now that I knew she was all right, my resentment came back full force, and I pulled them out. If she needed comfort, Nathan could be the one to give it to her. I vowed not to talk to her, never, ever again. But hating her, I already missed her, and it was a cruel irony that the only human being who could console me was the very one who made me suffer. No, I decided I ought to punish her so she'd never treat me badly again. My behavior was without a doubt childish, the fruit of impulse and not reflection. There was a flask of tea I knew was going to be taken to her, and before I knew it I'd unscrewed it and poured salt in. Far from satisfied, I offered to clean the kitchen, and in doing so put some soap in the leftovers I knew were intended for her. My mischief then backfired, as the leftovers were served back to us, and I actually had to eat them without showing anything was wrong. Pemichen, to my relief, didn't notice, unlike my mother, who ate some, made a face, and on the sly glanced down at my arm. She said she knew that with so little water it wasn't easy, but that I really had to do a much better job of rinsing the dishes. The nightgown Elsa wore had been washed and folded along with a towel, so I cut off some of my own hair, chopped it up, and dotted the inside of the fabric with these fine bits before folding everything back the way it was. I hoped they'd make her itch like crazy. Things were now equal, since I pressed her lock of hair against me as I slept. The next day my parents left for the factory early, and I paid